I'm just going to say this. This is the reason why investors are seen as no better than greedy monsters. Because this proves my point. Investors, especially investors that invest in medical companies, are no better than demons in hell. Because they would rather make more money than allow a human being to get fucking healthcare.
The lawsuit alleges that the insurance giant was no longer willing to use the aggressive, anti-consumer tactics that it would need to achieve its earnings goals. In essence, after public backlash following the unaliving of one of their executives.
Yeah. Investors are suing United Healthcare for having empathy. This case should be thrown out immediately. Because if it even stands, and the fact that United Healthcare basically is forced by its investors to be a fucking monster, and that's what they are, denying claims when they should be covered, shouldn't be a business strategy. You're in insurance. When people need to use insurance, they should have the capability of using it without needing to go through the fucking bullshit.
I always find it difficult to talk about this stock without acknowledging what happened with United Healthcare CEO and then the subsequent anger.
United Healthcare had to bow to public pressure.
That was a good thing. They couldn't deny
less care. And that, investors argue, is not what they signed up for.
What that would suggest to me is that probably United and maybe the industry pulling back on some of the activity they do to manage utilization, which obviously causes a bunch of consumer dissatisfaction.
Pay attention to the jargon here. Instead of denying and
deny, defend is a terrible practice, and medical companies should not try to hide it just because it isn't inconvenient. The fact is, they're killing people for profit.
Laying care.
And that is not defamation. I consider denying necessary medical care murder. That is my definition of what, even if it's not legally murder, that is what they do. Killing individuals just because they deny delay defend. Because you deny, let's say, cancer treatment that is necessary and could have saved the individual. Then they die a few weeks later because the cancer kills them. That is murder. No matter if it is legally not considered as such, that is murder.
The activity they do to manage utilization. But investors aren't only angry about the undermining of their business model. The crux of their complaint is that United lied about how much public pressure would affect their bottom line. When the truth came out, United had to revise their earnings forecast from $28 a share to $25, setting off alarm bells on Wall Street. I share these numbers because I think it's important to understand that millions of people have critical healthcare denied or delayed so that investors can see their stocks earn $3 more.
Yeah. Now there's a reason. I think there's a reason why people call people on Wall Street, let's say this, inhuman monsters? Yeah, inhuman monsters.
Dollars per share. This lawsuit raises all kinds of questions, like, if public scrutiny disappears, will United resume denying more care?
Hemsley apologized to investors for recent performance setbacks, he called them, from both external and internal challenges.
But more importantly, I think it shows the crux of our for-profit healthcare system. The billions in profit reaped by companies like United Health is largely dependent on their ability to deny care.
Yeah. The fact is, they make their business model by having people die or go financially bankrupt. That is their business model. That is the American phrase, do not call an ambulance because we cannot afford it. That is the American phrase that no other fucking developed nation on this planet has.
And any deviation from that strategy will get you sued by your investors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to blur that out. But anyway, I'm going to just say this. The investors that are suing the company for this should be ashamed of themselves. Because the fact is, healthcare should not be for profit. And this shows why. Because if anything is for profit, greed will be above health and human life.